October is here, and that means it's time to get scared. And us anime fans especially have it good this year because there is a new adaptation of Ryukishi 07's phenomenal work, Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, commonly known as When They Cry. Though if you're asking me, I much prefer When the Cicadas Cry, but that's just my opinion. Starting October 1st, this new adaptation brings back many of the voice actors from the original series with a new art style and, of course, updated animation. I've been waiting for it for months, and I am so glad that it's finally here. For those that don't know, Higurashi started out as an episodic visual novel series. The first game was released in 2002, and the next 7, all part of the same large story, came out between 2002 and 2006. 2006 also saw the release of the anime adaptation, which covered the first 4 games in the series, while a sequel series adapting the last 4 games came out in 2007. There were 2 live-action movies, a live-action TV show, a long-running manga adaptation, and over time, the games themselves have been remade and ported to a number of systems, including the PS2, PS3, and PS4, and the PS Vita, the Nintendo DS, and the Nintendo Switch, though everything except the original games, which are available in English on Steam, are Japan only. Needless to say, it's been a popular series. I have been so excited for this series to start. It has remained one of my favorite series since I watched it back in 2007 or 2008, and to this day it remains the most amount of anime I have watched in a single day. That's right, I watched all 26 episodes in one day. After the first episode, I was hooked. I had to know what was going on, what was going to happen, and I was lucky enough to be able to binge it. Newcomers that are watching this 2020 series won't have that benefit, but I hope it doesn't hurt the experience too much. And don't worry about spoilers, new fans. I don't plan on giving anything away. A large part of why I love Higurashi is the way it tells its story, and learning plot details in advance can ruin that. So I will be avoiding any talk of future events in my discussions. I won't even make nods to things that returning fans will notice because I don't want to risk wrecking anybody's enjoyment of this show. All that said, let's get on to the first episode. It starts with a deeply disturbing scene. A boy appears to be beating people to death with a baseball bat. There's blood, there are apparent corpses, and in the middle is our main character, Maibara Keiichi. K1 for us old school fans that like to keep it dumb. No explanation is given, the scene just happens, and then we see the title. Then are swept backwards in time, presumably backwards in time at least, to watch our cast get ready for school in their respective homes. We see Keiichi waking up, Reina making breakfast, Mion tying her hair back, and Rika and Sadako about to head out from their small house. Thanks to Rika looking at the calendar, we know that this is June of 1983, a long forgotten time before even I was born. Keiichi wolfs down his breakfast and meets up with Reina to walk to school together. He teases her, she is easy to tease, but then flatters her by saying that he'd always wait for her, no matter how long it took. Immediately, we see the strong bonds of friendship between these characters. They come across Mion, who joins them, cracking bad jokes and acting like she's an old man instead of the adorable teenager she is. At the school, Mion and Keiichi notice that the door to the classroom is booby-trapped, the work of the trap master, Sadako. Keiichi disarms the door and dodges the eraser, but falls victim to the rope in front of the door and trips, narrowly missing the ink placed on the floor. I'd give him a C+ for his evasion attempts. Sadako boasts, Keiichi threatens her with violence, a forehead flick that can split plywood in half, he says. Sadako cries, because she's a crybaby, and that's okay. Rika consoles both of them, and we see that she is perhaps the most mature one of all of them. The next scene has Mion and Reina showing Keiichi around the town of Hinamizawa. He's still new and doesn't know everything, after all. They sightsee and end up at the Furude Shrine, where Rika and Sadako live. They join the group, and the 5 of them partake of the gigantic lunch Reina prepared, Keiichi and Sadako turning it into a competition like they always do. It's a good chance to see how the characters interact with one another, and how well they function as a group. No one seems left out or estranged in any way. Walking home afterwards, Reina offers to show Keiichi a special spot, a junkyard. Mountains of trash that Reina loves to sift through in her eternal search for cute things. She advises Keiichi to just rest nearby, so he sprawls out while she goes treasure hunting. After a few moments, Keiichi is startled by Tomitake, a photographer that visits Hinamizawa every now and then. When asked by Tomitake why Reina is going through the garbage, Keiichi jokes that maybe she's checking on a body she dismembered. That bothers Tomitake, who simply says, "What a grisly incident. I hear one of his arms is still missing." Reina shows up before Tomitake can explain what he meant, ecstatic because she found a Kentakun statue under a bunch of trash. Kentakun is a reference to statues of Colonel Sanders that are often found in front of KFCs in Japan, so she's basically saying that she wants to take the Colonel home. God bless you, Reina. Keiichi trepidatiously asks if something happened in Hinamizawa, hinting at what Tomitake told him, but Reina shuts him down. There is a very brief but very dramatic tonal shift, cutting to the bottom of Reina's face as she says she doesn't know anything. It's short, but enough to bother you. But, Reina says, she's a transfer student just like Keiichi, so she doesn't know about anything that happened before she moved to town. It doesn't seem like Keiichi completely buys what she says, but he doesn't say anything to her. After school the next day, we are introduced to the after-school game club, of which Keiichi is now a part. Our group of 5 plays games with each other and get ferociously competitive, each match ending with a penalty game for the loser. Keiichi's already lost once and had permanent marker all over his face. Humiliating. That day, Mion suggests a scavenger hunt, searching the entire school for her marker. The 4 of them try hard, but Sadako is the one that succeeds, stopping Rika from getting it with her trap, a bunch of wash bowls suspended from the ceiling. Rika has the last laugh though, as her present to Sadako is a flying punching fist that marks KO on Sadako's face. Of seemingly little importance, this club activity again lets us see how everyone behaves as part of the group, as well as how the group is meant to behave. One of the club's rules, after all, is always strive for victory with everything you've got. Everybody bonds by trying their hardest. There are no hard feelings, everybody accepts failure when it's their turn, and each person has their own strengths. The group has something special, or else there would be squabbling and a lot of negativity, especially since Rika and Sadako are a couple of years younger than the others. Reina leaves early, not feeling well, so Keiichi and Mion walk home without her. Keiichi takes the opportunity to ask Mion about what Tomitake said, and he learns that there was a dam project that would have resulted in the destruction of Hinamizawa. But thanks to the villagers working together and petitioning, and basically waging a war against the government, it was scrapped. Keiichi asks if there was any violence, if anyone was murdered, and just like with Reina, the tone shifts as Mion says, "Of course not." For just a moment, Keiichi is taken aback. This Mion isn't the one we've seen so far. But just as quickly as she came, she's gone, and Mion is back to normal, telling Keiichi she'll see him tomorrow, as she has to go down her own path home. Some days pass, and Keiichi shows up at the trash heap, offering to help Reina get to the Colonel, Kentakun. He teases Reina first because it is so fun to tease her, but she doesn't mind. She actually is embarrassed and happy that he came to help. Could these two be meant to be? Huh? There are doujinshis of that if you want to find them. They've existed for over a decade after all. Keiichi gives it his all digging through the trash, but eventually he tires out. Reina says she'll run home real quick to get them some drinks, and Keiichi rests. The sun sets and the sky gets dimmer and dimmer, and Keiichi sees a pile of old magazines. He starts going through them and finds one about the grisly incident. It turns out that a construction worker for the dam was murdered and dismembered. Something terrible did happen. He starts reading, and we see behind him, holding a bladed weapon, is Reina, watching as he reads, a sad look on her face. Or perhaps it is a look of forlorn acceptance. The music kicks in, and it's the original opening song from the 2006 anime, with translated lyrics, thankfully, as they actually do have something to do with the show. after the credits are over, we get a final shot. Above both of them, watching Reina, watching Keiichi, is Rika, her eyes red, an indecipherable expression on her face. Anger, sadness, despair? We have to wait until next week to find out. So that was the first episode. I loved it even if nothing new was done, and I'm sure I'll love this adaptation, even if it sticks to the same story and beats as the original, because the original is great. It's fantastic to have better animation, as the original had some problems every now and then, and the characters look different enough to feel fresh, but are still immediately recognizable. All in all, I can't say a single negative thing so far, and I'm hoping it stays that way. Let's go Hinamizawa. Hi, Shaggy here. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a like and share it. Subscribe to see more Higurashi videos as the anime continues to air. I'm going to try my best to keep up with the show each week. If you want possible updates or just to see whatever random stuff I have to say, check me out on Twitter, it's @ShaggyJeebus. Otherwise, leave a comment and let me know what you think. And again, thanks for watching. Stay safe.